The whiskey burned like fire down my throat, but it was nothing compared to the heat of his gaze pinning me against the leather couch in his penthouse overlooking the Hudson. "Austin," Justin murmured, his voice low and gravelly, fingers brushing my knee in a way that sent electricity crackling through my veins. "I've wanted this since the day you walked into my office." My heart slammed against my ribs as he leaned in, lips crashing into mine with a hunger that shattered every professional boundary I'd clung to like a lifeline. I never thought a simple after-work email could unravel my entire world. It was a Friday in late September, the kind of crisp New York autumn day where the leaves on the trees lining Madison Avenue turned the sidewalks into a fiery mosaic, and the air hummed with that electric buzz of possibility. I'd been at Harper & Klein Advertising for just 3 months, fresh out of grad school at NYU, buried in spreadsheets and pitching ideas for luxury watch campaigns that felt a million miles from my dreams of crafting stories that actually mattered. But the job paid the rent on my shoebox apartment in Brooklyn, and hell, it was a foot in the door. Justin Harper, yes, the Harper, co-founder of the firm, was the kind of man who commanded a room without raising his voice. Mid-30s, sharp as a Gillette blade, with tousled dark hair that always looked like he'd just rolled out of bed after a night of conquests, and eyes the color of storm clouds over the East River. He wore tailored suits like armor, but there was something vulnerable in the way he lingered on details. The faint scar above his left eyebrow from a childhood skateboarding mishap he'd confessed over a team lunch, or the way he'd remember your coffee order on a Monday morning when the world felt like it was conspiring against you. That email pinged into my inbox at 4:57 p.m. "Austin, great work on the Zenith pitch. Drinks to celebrate? My place. 8 p.m. Address attached. Don't make me beg." "Jay," my stomach flipped. "Drinks with the boss? At his place?" I stared at the screen, cursor blinking like a heartbeat. Part of me screamed to decline. Boundaries. Austin. Remember the HR seminar on power dynamics, but the reckless part, the one that had moved to the city chasing shadows of who I wanted to be, whispered yes. I typed back, "Wouldn't miss it. See you then." By 7:45, I was scrubbing my face raw in the bathroom mirror, second-guessing the slim-fit chinos and button-down that suddenly felt too eager. My reflection stared back. 26. Boyish features softened by a perpetual 5 o'clock shadow. Hazel eyes that my ex back in Ohio used to call windows to trouble. I come out in college, dated a string of baristas and baristas wannabes, but nothing stuck. New York was supposed to change that, right? A fresh start. Endless nights in dimly lit clubs where bodies pressed close and judgments faded into the strobe lights. Justin's building loomed like a glass monolith on the Upper West Side, doorman nodding me through with a knowing smirk. The elevator ride was a slow torture, jazz standards piping softly from hidden speakers. When the doors slid open to his floor, there he was, leaning against the doorframe of his apartment, sleeves rolled up to reveal forearms corded with muscle, a tumbler of amber liquid in hand. "You made it," he said, that crooked smile pulling at the corner of his mouth. "Come on in before the vultures downstairs start asking questions." The penthouse was everything I'd imagined and nothing at all. Floor-to-ceiling windows framing the glittering sprawl of Manhattan, minimalist furniture in shades of charcoal and cream, a bar cart stocked with bottles that probably cost more than my yearly salary. But it was the details that hit me, the dog-eared copy of The Great Gatsby on the coffee table, a half-finished crossword puzzle scribbled in his precise handwriting, a framed photo of him grinning with a group of friends on a sun-drenched beach somewhere tropical. Human. Approachable. Dangerous. We started easy, ice clinking in glasses. Talk of the pitch, I'd nailed the tagline. Time waits for no one, except Zenith. The latest agency drama, our creative director's affair with the intern, was apparently as subtle as a Times Square billboard. The whiskey flowed, loosening knots I didn't know were there. Justin perched on the arm of the couch, legs stretched out, and I sank into the cushions, feeling the warmth seep into my bones. "Tell me something real, Austin," he said after the second round, swirling his glass. His eyes locked on mine, intense, like he was dissecting a brief. "Not the polished version from your resume. The stuff that keeps you up at night." I laughed. Too loud. Too nervous. "Real? Okay. I moved here thinking I'd conquer the world, but half the time I'm just trying not to cry in the subway because some ad for family vacations hits too close to home." The words tumbled out before I could stop them. My parents' divorce, the way my dad still pretended my phase would pass, the hollow ache of holidays spent with Netflix instead of home-cooked meals. Vulnerability. "Thy name is Bourbon." Justin's face softened, and he slid down beside me, close enough that I could smell his cologne, sandalwood and citrus. "Eddie." "I get that," he murmured. "More than you know. This city. It chews you up and spits out the bones. But you've got fire. I saw it the second you walked in that first day, all wide-eyed and ready to fight." Our knees brushed. Neither of us moved. The room felt smaller, the city lights outside blurring into a hazy glow. And then, as if the universe had conspired to tip the scales, he set his glass down and turned to me fully. "Austin," he said, voice rough like he'd swallowed gravel, "I've been fighting this pull since day one. You're under my skin." Before I could process, his hand cupped my jaw, thumb tracing the line of my stubble. His lips met mine, soft at first, tentative, then fierce, like a dam breaking. I tasted whiskey and want, my fingers tangling in his shirt as I pulled him closer. It was wrong power imbalance, career suicide, but God, felt like coming home. His hands roamed, mapping the planes of my back, and when he broke away, breathless, forehead pressed to mine, he whispered, "Stay. Please." I stayed. The night blurred into a haze of stripped clothes and whispered confessions, bodies entwining on sheets that smelled of him. For those hours, the world outside ceased to exist. There was only Justin, his laughter low and rumbling as we raided his fridge for midnight snacks, his fingers tracing lazy patterns on my chest as we talked until dawn about dreams deferred and fears unspoken. He told me about losing his mom to cancer when he was 20, how it carved a hollow in him he filled with work. I shared the scar of my first breakup, the one that made me question if love was just a pretty lie poets told. By morning, tangled in sunlight filtering through the blinds, I knew I was in deep. "This could be something," he said, kissing my temple. "If you're game." I was. God, was I game? But as I slipped out of his building at 7 a.m., collar askew and heart pounding, reality crashed back. The subway ride home was a gauntlet of sidelong glances and my own racing thoughts. What now? Keep it secret? Risk everything? By the time I showered and changed for work, the email from Justin waited. "Last night was everything. Coffee run on me today. Act normal." Winky face. Normal. Right? I laughed bitterly in my empty apartment. As if Monday blurred into a fever dream. Stolen glances across the conference room table during strategy sessions, his foot nudging mine under the desk like a secret code. Late nights brainstorming that ended with me bent over his desk, files scattered like confetti. It was intoxicating, the thrill of the forbidden, the way his touch erased the exhaustion of pitching to execs who treated ideas like disposable coffee cups. 2 weeks in, he took me to a hidden speakeasy in the village, all velvet booths and jazz that wrapped around us like smoke. Over Manhattan's, he opened up more, his ex, a Wall Street shark named Derek who'd left him for a promotion and a penthouse in Tribeca. He said I was too soft, Justin admitted, staring into his glass. Too emotional. But with you, it's different. You see me. I believed him. In the dim light, with his hand warm on my thigh, I saw a future. Lazy Sundays in bed. Holidays where we weren't hiding. I see you, I echoed, and meant it. But cracks formed early, subtle as hairline fractures in glass. A missed call from an unknown number that he silenced too quickly. Whispers in the office about Justin's type. Always the ambitious ones, the ones who climbed the ladder on his coattails. I brushed it off. Paranoia, I told myself. Until the night of the agency gala. The plaza's ballroom glittered like a jewel box, chandeliers dripping light onto black ties and sequins. Justin looked devastating in a midnight tux, arm looped through mine as we navigated small talk with clients. You're killing it, he murmured in my ear, breath hot. But midway through, his phone buzzed insistently. He excused himself, disappearing into a side corridor. I nursed a champagne flute, chatting with Elena from accounts, when I saw him re-emerging, face flushed, adjusting his cufflinks, and trailing behind, laughing that polished laugh. A man in his 40s, silver at the temples, exuding old money ease. They shook hands, but it lingered, a pat on the shoulder, eyes meeting too long. Who's that? I asked later, as we slipped into a cab. Client, Justin said, too casual, pulling me into a kiss that tasted like evasion. Nothing to worry about, I worried. The next morning, hungover and hollow, I scrolled Instagram on my commute, force of habit. Justin's profile was private, but a tagged photo from the gala caught my eye, him and the silver fox, arms slung around each other. Caption, reunited with my favorite troublemaker. Old times NYC nights. The man was tagged at Marcus Vane, partner at Vane and Associates, a rival firm. My gut twisted. A quick search. Articles about their bromance in industry rags. Photos from charity events where they looked more like lovers than colleagues. Justin had never mentioned him. That night, at his place, I confronted him over takeout Thai. Who's Marcus to you? Really? He froze, chopsticks midway to his mouth. An old friend. Why? The photos. The way you looked at him. Jealousy flared in his eyes, then softened to something like pity. Austin, come on. It's nothing. You're the one I want. He crossed the room, pulling me into his lap, kisses trailing fire down my neck. Let me show you. He did. And for a while, I let myself drown in it. But doubt is a seed, and water it with silence. It grows. October rolled in like a thief, stealing the last warmth from the air and leaving behind winds that whipped through the canyons of Midtown, carrying whispers of winter. Work ramped up, a holiday campaign for a luxury retailer that had us pulling all-nighters, fueled by Red Bulls and Justin's quiet encouragements scrawled on post-its stuck to my monitor. You're brilliant. Dinner after. Our routine solidified. Stolen lunches in Central Park, where we'd huddle on benches pretending to review briefs while his fingers laced through mine under the table. Weekends holed up in his penthouse, binging Scorsese films and debating the merits of DiCaprio's brooding versus De Niro's grit. It was romantic, the kind of slow-burn love that felt ripped from a Nora Ephron script. Witty banter over eggs at dawn. Him humming Sinatra in the shower while I pretended to sleep. But beneath it, the Marcus shadow loomed. I catch Justin staring at his phone during meetings, thumbs hovering before he locked the screen. Once, I glimpsed a text notification. "Miss you tonight." Client stuff, he said when I asked, waving it off. But his eyes darted, and the lie hung between us like smoke. I threw myself into work to drown it out. My ideas started landing, a viral spot concept that had the execs buzzing, and Justin's praise felt like sunlight. "Proud of you, kid," he'd say, clapping my shoulder in the hallway, the touch lingering just long enough to send heat pooling low in my belly. Kid. Degraded, a reminder of the gulf between us, him the kingpin, me the upstart. Halloween crept up, and Justin insisted on a party at his place. Low-key, just us and a few creatives. Low-key my ass. By 10 p.m., the penthouse pulsed with bass from a Spotify playlist. Costumed colleagues spilling Prosecco and spilling secrets. I went as a 1920s speakeasy bartender, vest and bow tie making me feel equal parts dapper and exposed. Justin, Indiana Jones, fedora tilted rakishly, whip coiled at his hip like a promise. He found me in the kitchen, mixing Manhattans for a gaggle of juniors. "Looking good, Mr. Gatsby," he teased, hip-checking me aside to snag a cherry. Our eyes met, and for a second, the room faded, his hand brushing mine, a ghost of a smile promising later. Later came at 2 a.m., guests trickling out, the air thick with confetti and conquest. We collapsed onto the couch, his head in my lap, fedora discarded. "Best night in ages," he sighed, fingers toying with my buttons. "You make this life bearable." I leaned down, kissing him slow and deep, tasting the night's indulgences. "More than bearable," I whispered. "It's real." He pulled back, searching my face. "Is it? With the secrets?" My heart stuttered. "What secrets?" A beat. Then, "The ones we're keeping. From everyone." Relief flooded me. "Not Marcus, but us." "We'll tell them when it's right," I said, stroking his hair. "I'm not going anywhere." He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. We made love on the living room rug, urgent and unhurried, his body arching under mine like a wave cresting. In the afterglow, tangled and spent, he confessed, "I love you, Austin." Scary as hell to say it. I froze, joy and terror colliding. "I love you too." The words hung, sacred. But love, I've learned, is a spotlight. It illuminates everything, including the rot. The rot surfaced on a Tuesday, gray skies mirroring my mood. I'd forgotten my laptop at the office and swung by after hours to grab it. The building was a tomb, fluorescence buzzing faintly. Justin's corner office light spilled into the hall, door ajar. Voices drifted out, low, intimate. "Can't keep doing this, Marcus. It's killing me." My blood turned to ice. I edged closer, peering through the crack. Justin stood by the window, back to the door, while the silver fox, Marcus, leaned against the desk, arms crossed, that predatory smile in place. "You're the one who called," Marcus drawled, voice like velvet over steel. "Twice this week." "What was it you said?" "One last time?" Justin raked a hand through his hair. That was before Austin. He's different. Real. Marcus laughed. Sharp. Real? Like the barista you ghosted last summer? Or the intern who cried when you ended it? Face it, Justin, you're wired for this. The chase. The high. I'm the only one who gets it. Justin's shoulders slumped. It's not. Marcus closed the distance. Hand on Justin's arm. Shoo. Remember Paris? That hotel balcony. The Seine glittering below. His voice dropped. Husky. You begged me not to stop. Couldn't breathe. Justin didn't pull away. Instead, he leaned in, forehead to Marcus's, a sigh escaping like surrender. Then, impossibly, their lips met, a kiss born of habit, of history, deep and unhurried. I backed away, silent as a ghost, laptop forgotten. The elevator ride down was eternity, tears blurring the lobby's marble. Outside, the drizzle had turned to sheets of rain, soaking me to the bone as I stumbled to the subway. Betrayal tasted like bile, sharp and unending. Home was a blur, stripping wet clothes, curling into bed with the lights off, phone silenced. Notifications piled up, Justin's texts. Where are you? Everything okay? I stared at the ceiling, replaying the kiss on loop. How long? How many lies layered under our love? Dawn brought resolve. I dragged myself to work, face a mask of professionalism. Justin cornered me in the break room at noon, concern etching lines around his eyes. You look wrecked. Talk to me. I met his gaze, steeling myself. Saw you last night. With Marcus. The color drained from his face. Austin, don't. My voice cracked, but I pressed on. How long? He glanced around, lowering his voice. Not here. Please. We ended up in a conference room, door locked, blinds drawn. He paced like a caged animal. It's over with him. Has been for months. Last night. It was closure. A mistake. Closure. I laughed. Bitter. Looked pretty open to me. He stopped, reaching for my hand. I yanked it back. I was weak. Scared. You're the first person in years who's made me want more. Settle down. Build something. Marcus is the past. Easy. No strings. But you. You terrify me because I could lose you. Tears stung. You already have. Austin. No. He stepped closer. Desperation raw. Give me a chance to fix this. I wanted to. God. The pull was magnetic, his scent, his plea. But trust, once fractured, bleeds. I need time, I whispered. He nodded, eyes glistening. Take it. I'll wait. I left that room hollow, the rest of the day a mechanical haze. That night, alone in Brooklyn, I pored over old emails, photos from our speakeasy date, smiling, oblivious. Anger warred with ache. By midnight, I drafted a resignation letter, fingers trembling over send. But I didn't. Not yet. The week that followed was purgatory. Professional by day, nods in hallways, clipped meetings where our eyes avoided collision. Nights, I'd scroll his socials, hunting for clues. A story post of him at a gym, sweat-slicked and solitary. A repost of a queer rights rally downtown. Caption, visibility matters. Love wins. Was it for me or performance? Elena noticed, cornering me by the copier. You and Justin spill. The tension's thicker than plotter paper. I deflected with a joke. but she wasn't buying. Honey, I've seen that look. The "I love you but it's complicated" stare. Whatever it is, don't let it dim your shine. Her words stuck, a lifeline in the storm. Halloween's ghost lingered into November, the city decking itself in twinkling lights while my world dimmed. Justin tried coffee deliveries with notes, thinking of you, a playlist shared via Spotify, ballads about redemption, Springsteen crooning Thunder Road. I listened on loop, heart twisting. One evening, post-shift, I wandered into a dive bar in Hell's Kitchen, the kind with sticky floors and drag shows on weekends. Neon buzzed open, and I nursed a beer, watching a queen lip-sync to Cher, her gown a cascade of sequins. For a moment, envy bloomed, her unapologetic fire, owning the stage while I hid in shadows. My phone lit up, Justin. Can we talk? Really talk. My place. No pressure. Against better judgment, I went. He opened the door in sweats, hair tousled, vulnerability etched deep. No whiskey this time, just tea steaming on the counter. We sat on the couch, space between us like a chasm. I'm sorry, he started, voice steady. For everything. Marcus was. Addiction. Comfort in chaos. After Derek. After Mom. I built walls. He slipped through cracks. But you climbed them. I sipped chamomile, scalding. Why didn't you tell me? Fear. Simple. Shattering. Of losing the one good thing. Tears welled. It hurts. Justin. Like I'm the fool. You're not. He shifted closer. Not touching. Let me earn it back. Dates. Real ones. No secrets. The offer dangled. Tempting. I nodded. Tentative. Start slow. We did. A walk in the village. Hands brushing but not holding. Dinner at a hole-in-the-wall Italian spot. Sharing tiramisu and stories of childhood Thanksgivings gone wrong. Laughter crept back. Fragile but real. By mid-November, we were us again, cautious, deeper. He blocked Marcus's number in front of me, deleted old texts. Clean slate, he vowed. I believed him. Or tried to. Thanksgiving loomed, a minefield of family expectations. Justin invited me to his sister's in Connecticut. Small house, big turkey, queer aunts swapping stories by the fire. No pressure, he said. But I'd love you there. I went. The drive up was quiet, his hand on my knee as snow flurried the windshield. At the house, his sister Claire hugged me like kin, her wife dishing pie with a wink. Around the table, hands linked under linen, I felt anchored. Belonging. That night, in the guest room, Justin traced my spine. Thank you for this. For us. I turned, kissing him soft. Worth the risk, but risks have teeth. December descended on New York like a velvet curtain, blanketing the streets in twinkling garlands and the chill bite of anticipation. The agency thrummed with holiday frenzy. Ugly sweater contests in the lobby, secret Santa swaps laced with inside jokes. Justin and I navigated it like tightrope walkers. A brush of fingers passing the coffee pot, his foot hooking mine during client calls. The secrecy chafed less now, laced with the thrill of almost whispers of later promising stolen moments in coat closets or his car parked in shadowy garages. Our first official date post-betrayal was magic. Ice skating at Rockefeller Center, the tree a colossal beacon overhead. He was wobbly on blades, cursing under his breath as I steadied him, laughter bubbling free. If the clients see this, my rep's toast, he grumbled, but his grin betrayed him. We warmed up with hot cocoa spiked with Kahlua, lips sticky with marshmallow foam, kisses tasting of cinnamon and promise. You're glowing, Elena noted one morning, eyeing me over her latte. Spill the tea, or is it the boss? I flushed, but her smile was conspiratorial. Knew it. Just be careful. Yeah. Power plays get messy. Her warning echoed as the month wore on. Justin's ex, Derek, resurfaced. A consulting gig that had them in meetings together. Late nights I pretended didn't gut me. Professional only, Justin assured, showing me the agenda. But doubt whispered once a player. Christmas Eve. He surprised me with tickets to a Christmas Carol on Broadway, tiny theater, Ebenezer Scrooge railing against ghosts while we held hands in the dark. Afterward, snow falling soft, we wandered Fifth Avenue, windows aglow with opulence. Pick one, he said, nodding at the displays. Anything. I chose a simple silver cuff from Tiffany's, engraved inside, to Austin, my redemption. J. To fit like it was made for me, cool metal warming against my wrist. New Year's loomed, a reset button. Justin planned a quiet escape. His sister's cabin in the Catskills, just us and a bottle of Uve under the stars. The drive was story hour, him recounting boyhood escapades, skinny dipping in this very lake, me sharing Ohio summers chasing fireflies till dawn. At the cabin, fire crackling, we made love slow and reverent, bodies sinking like a heartbeat. Happy New Year, love, he murmured at midnight, champagne bubbles on his tongue. But January brought frost, not just to the air, but to us. The agency landed a whale client, Vane and Associates. Marcus's firm. Conflict, I asked, pulse racing. Recused myself, Justin said, kissing my temple. You're safe. Was I? Boardroom sessions had him liaising with Marcus. Post-meeting drinks I declined. One night, he came home late, reeking of scotch. I ask you. Rough day, he muttered, collapsing beside me. Rough how? Pressed, sitting up. Old wounds. He rolled away, back a wall. Sleep. I didn't. Dawn found me scrolling. A LinkedIn update from Marcus. Thrilled to partner with H&K. Here's to new chapters. Tagged, Justin. Rage simmered. At work, I avoided him, burying in revisions. He cornered me in the stairwell. What's wrong? Everything. The dam broke. You're slipping back. I see it, the late nights, the distance. His face crumpled. No. God, no. It's the stress. The merger's a beast. Liar. I shoved past. Heart hammering. That weekend, I ghosted a first. Bar hopping in Chelsea, drowning in gin and grind with strangers whose touches meant nothing. Sunday, hungover, his text, please come over. We need to fix this. I went, fury and fear entwined. He was wrecked, stubble shadowing his jaw, eyes red-rimmed. I screwed up. Not with him, with us. Shutting you out. Why? I demanded, arms crossed. Panic. He sank to the couch. This merger is my shot at equity. But Marcus, he dangles bait. Reminds me of who I was. Weak. I softened, fractionally. And who are you now? Yours. Simple. True? We talked till dusk, raw, unfiltered. He admitted therapy sessions post-Eric. A sponsor for his relationship addiction. You're my North Star, Austin. Help me stay the course. I did. Couples counseling, suggested by his shrink. Awkward at first. In a Soho office with plants and Kleenex boxes. The therapist, a no-nonsense dyke named Rita, prodded. Trust is rebuilt brick by brick. What do you need, Austin? Transparency, I said. All of it, Justin nodded. Done. February bloomed tentative. Valentine's at a jazz club in Harlem. His gift a leather-bound journal. For your stories. The ones only we know. I wrote our first entry that night, curled against him. But spring teased betrayal anew. March. A work trip to L.A., Justin solo. Client schmoozing. He called nightly. Miss you. Hotel bars lame without you. Texts peppered with hearts. Then, silence. A day. Then two. My messages unread. Panic clawed. On the third, a photo from Elena. Leaked office gossip rag. Blurry shot of Justin and Marcus at the Ivy. Heads bent close. Hands touching over salads. I confronted him at JFK pickup. Rain lashing the terminal. Explain. He blanched. Business lunch. That's all. The hand-holding? Force of habit. Defensive. Jesus. Austin. You're paranoid. Paranoid. The word ignited. Fuck you. I stormed to a cab. Door slamming like finality. Home. I packed. A duffel of essentials. Resignation drafted again. His calls flooded. Voicemails cracking with pleas. It was nothing. Come home. Home. The word mocked. Claire reached out, his sister. Voice warm over the line. He's a mess, Austin. Give him hell, but don't walk away. He needs you to fight for him, not against. Her words pierced. I showed up at his penthouse at midnight, rain-soaked, fury spent. He opened the door, wrecked. I'm done hiding, he choked. With you. With me. No more Marcus. Ever. Proof his phone. Deleted threads. An email to HR. Recusing from vain dealings. I choose us. We collapsed into each other. Kisses salty with tears. Bodies reaffirming vows unspoken. It was fragile, but fierce. April showers brought May flowers, or so the poets say. Our 1 year at the agency milestone. A rooftop party. Skyline ablaze. Justin pulled me aside. Ring box in pocket, not proposal, but promise. Matching cuffs. Engraved always. Out, he whispered. To the team. Heart pounding. I nodded. Together. Coming out was anticlimactic. Cheers. Hugs from Elena. Awkward pats from Suits. But freedom tasted sweet. Summer sizzled in. Lazy weekends on Fire Island. Borrowed from Claire. Beaches where we walked hand in hand. No glances over shoulders. Love deepened. Lazy blowjobs in hammocks. Debates over Hemingway till stars wheeled overhead. But autumn circled back. Relentless. September marked 2 years for me at H&K. Promotion whispers. Justin beamed. Toasting with craft IPAs. Yet, a shadow his health. Fatigue dogging him. Bruises blooming unexplained. Stress, he waved off. I pushed. Doctor's visit. Results, leukemia, early stage. World tilted. The diagnosis landed like a sucker punch. Clinical words in a sterile Upper East Side office. Dr. Patel's voice steady as she outlined options. Chemo? Trials? Remission odds promising if caught early. Justin sat ramrod straight, jaw clenched, while I gripped his hand under the table, knuckles white. Outside, Central Park's leaves turned traitorously gold, oblivious to the fracture. "That explains the bruises," he said in the cab home, attempting levity. "Thought I was just clumsy." I forced a laugh, throat tight. World's worst klutz. Home, his penthouse, now ours in all but lease. He poured scotch. "Neat. Don't baby me, Austin. I need you fighting beside, not hovering." "Fight we will," I vowed, clinking glasses. But fear gnawed. The man who'd rebuilt my trust, now fragile under fluorescent hospital lights. Treatment started swift. Infusions at Sloan Kettering, Justin juggling board meetings between nausea waves. I became shuttle smoothies stocked with ginger, blankets for chills. Nights, he'd curl into me, vulnerability stripped bare. "Scared shitless," he'd admit, voice muffled against my chest. "What if?" "Don't." I kiss his temple. "We're in this." The agency rallied. Elena baking casseroles, execs approving remote work. But whispers slithered. Is Harper stepping down? Power vacuums loomed, and Marcus circled, vulture sharp, pitching support deals that reeked of opportunism. One infusion day, mid-drip, Justin's phone buzzed. "Marcus, heard the news. Let me help." "Dinner." I snatched it, deleting before Justin saw. "Not now," I muttered. He eyed me, weary. "Jealousy's cute, but misplaced." "Not jealousy, defensive. Protection." The line blurred. Chemo cycles ground us. Good days of park picnics. Bad ones where he'd snap. Isolation his armor. "I hate this pity in your eyes," he'd lash. "It's love," I'd counter. Stung. October's chill deepened cracks. A rough round left him bedbound. Hallucinations flickering, Derek's ghost accusing, Marcus mocking. In delirium, he grabbed my wrist. "Don't leave. Please." "Never," I whispered, tears hot. But exhaustion chipped me. Late shifts covering his load. Sleep stolen by worry. Elena pulled me aside. "You're burning out." "Therapy, for you." Rita, our old counselor, welcomed me solo. Caregiving's a marathon. Boundaries. Austin. Boundaries. I tried weekends for me, gym, gallery hops solo. Guilt shadowed, but space breathed life back. November brought scan results. Shrinkage. "Responding well, Dr. Patel smiled. Relief crashed. Party planned, small, intimate, Claire's turkey redux. But pre-feast, blow up, Justin, restless, snapped over seating charts. "Why invite Elena? She gossips. She's family," I shot back. "Unlike your exes, old wounds ripped." Marcus called. Offered real help, connections to trials. "You answered," fury blinded. Out of desperation, he flung his hands. "You're not my only lifeline." Words hung lethal. I stormed out, Brooklyn bound, rain mirroring turmoil. Claire mediated next day. "He's terrified of losing control, of losing you." Thanksgiving thawed us. Toasts to warriors, his hand in mine under the table. "Sorry," he murmured. "You're my rock." December danced defiant, holiday lights mocking fragility. But we leaned in. A tree in the penthouse, ornaments hand-painted. Year 1, us versus the world. New Year's. Sober this time. We clinked seltzers on the balcony. City fireworks blooming like hope. Remission whispered by spring. Scans clean. Cautious optimism. Celebrations. Trip to Provincetown. Beaches where we swam naked. Laughter echoing waves. Love. Tempered by fire. Burned purer. Slow dances in dive bars. Tattoos matching on ribs. Coordinates of our first kiss. But cancer's echo lingered. Justin's drive shifted. Legacy over ladder climbing. He mentored juniors. Pushed diversity hires. I thrived. Lead on a queer-focused campaign for pride. Tagline. Love unscripted. Yet, undercurrents stirred. Marcus. Sidelined. Sued breach claims on old deals. Dredging dirt. Paparazzi flashes outside court. Headlines. Ad mogul's messy exit? Stress reignited symptoms. Fatigue. Fevers. Relapse. I whispered in ER. Monitors beeping. No, just echoes. But trust frayed. You invited this, I accused. Irrational. His eyes hardened. Blaming me? After everything. Fight spilled. Accusations flying, my smothering. His recklessness. Door slammed. Me fleeing to Elena's couch. Days blurred. Radio silence. Agency humming oblivious. Claire called. He's breaking. Austin. Come home. I did. Penthouse dim. Justin curled fetal. Can't do this without you. We rebuilt. Rita's office again. Raw sessions unpacking survivor's guilt. Codependency's clause. Love isn't possession, she said. It's choice. Daily. Choices we made, boundaries etched, weekly check-ins. Solo travels. Summer healed. Road trip Route 66. Diners and deserts. His head on my shoulder as sunset. Fall 2026. 2 years cancer-free. Gala at MoMA. Justin honored for philanthropy. Speech cracking. To the man who stayed when shadows fell. Austin. You're my plot twist. Applause thundered. Our kiss stage lit. Unapologetic. But life's no fairy tale. December. Routine scan. Spot. Manageable, Dr. Patel soothed. Targeted therapy. Devastation anew. Yet, seasoned. We faced it, hospice plans discussed over wine. Laughs amid tears. If this takes me, he said one night. Fingers in mine. No, I lived fully. Because of you. Don't talk like, sobs choked. Promise me, live loud. For us. January's cold bit deep. Treatments lighter. But toll mounted. Agency stepped back. I quit. Freelance to stay close. Days blended. Books read aloud. Brokeback Mountain evoking wry smiles. Our story's better, he teased. February. Decline swift. Hospice in. Penthouse a sanctuary. Flowers from Claire. Elena's playlists. Marcus even sent peace. Handwritten note. Wished you well sooner. Be happy. I read it to him, he snorted. Too late. Valentine's. Last lucid. He gifted a letter sealed. Open when ready. We danced slow to Coltrane. Bodies frail but fused. March equinox, he slipped. Peaceful. Last words. Love. Always. Funeral reigned. Absurdly. Claire gripped my hand. Elena toasted to firecrackers. I scattered ashes at the Hudson. Waves claiming him gentle. Grief's maw swallowed. Days bedbound. Nights screaming into pillows. Therapy anchored. Freelance bloomed. A memoir pitch. Our story veiled. June. sun mocking. I opened the letter. Austin, if you're reading this, I'm gone. But not really. You gave me years I didn't deserve. Laughter in leukemia. Trust after treason. Live messy. Love fierce. Find someone who sees your light. And remember, our rooftop, best plot twist ever. Yours, Justin. Tears-soaked ink. Rooftop, our first fight. Rain-lashed. Me storming. Him chasing. Don't go, he'd yelled. I choose you. I chose back. Summer healed fractional. P-Town solo. Waves whispering absolution. Fall brought launch. Book deal. Shattered scripts. Readings packed. Queer crowds nodding through tears. One night, signing in Brooklyn. Eyes met across room. Young. Tousled. Storm cloud gaze. Echo. Heart stuttered. Not replacement. Continuation. We talked post-event. Coffee. Stories swapped. His name, Riley. Dreams deferred. City chewed. Drinks? He asked. Shy. I smiled. Cuff glinting. My place. 8 p.m. Cycle spun, hope's fragile thread. The penthouse felt cavernous without Justin's laughter echoing off the windows. But on that humid August evening, with Riley perched on the barstool nursing a gin and tonic, stirred, faint, like a radio tuning in static to song. He was 24, a graphic designer scraping by on freelance gigs for indie zines. His portfolio a riot of bold lines and queer icons that made my memoir pitch blush in comparison. Boyish charm hid sharp edges. A tattoo of Audre Lorde's quote snaking his forearm. Your silence will not protect you. And eyes, green-flecked brown, that dissected without mercy. Love the book, he said, tracing the cover's embossed skyline. Raw as hell. How'd you survive that? I poured another round, the clink of ice a metronome to memory. Barely. Justin. He was my anchor and my storm. Taught me love's not a straight line. It's a goddamn hurricane. Riley nodded. No pity, just understanding. Lost my brother to AIDS when I was a kid. 90s South Carolina churchfolk called it God's wrath. I write comics about it now. Punchlines over pain. We talked till the city lights smudged dawn. His escape to New York on a Greyhound with $200 and a sketchpad. My Ohio roots, fireflies and forbidden crushes. No kisses that night, just the brush of knees under the island. A spark without pressure. He left with my number scrawled on a napkin. Promise implicit. Dating Riley was sunlight after eclipse, easy, unscarred. Mornings at his Bushwick walk-up. Sunlight slanting through blinds as he sketched while I edited chapters. Afternoons wandering the high line, his hand swinging mine loose. No ghosts lurking. He met Claire over brunch, charming her with tales of drag brunches gone viral. Elena dubbed him the upgrade, winking over mimosas. But Justin's shadow stretched long. Anniversaries, our first drinks, that fateful couch. Found me withdrawn, Riley patient but probing. Talk to me, he'd urge, curled on the fire escape. City hum below. It's guilt, I'd admit. Like moving on erases him, Riley's touch grounded, fingers lacing mine. Nah. This tribute. He made you this, you. Open and fierce. He was right. Summer faded into fall. Book tour wrapping with a launch in LA, Riley tagging along. His excitement infectious as we hiked Runyon Canyon. Sweat slicked and breathless. That night, hotel balcony overlooking the sprawl. He dropped to one knee, not ring, but sketch. Us as superheroes, capes billowing, Justin a constellation winking overhead. Partners? He asked, grin crooked. Chaos and all? Especially. Love with Riley was collaborative, co-writing a graphic novel adaptation of Shattered Scripts. Panels pulsing with Justin's fire and our light. Holidays healed. Thanksgiving at Claire's. Riley carving turkey with theatrical flair. Christmas. Tree strung with Justin's ornaments. New ones added, Riley's lopsided star. Yet, winter's bite unearthed old fractures. January scan for me, routine. Post-Justin paranoia, clear. But Riley's flinch at needles betrayed his own haunt. Brothers' hospital vigils. We therapied tandem. Rita beaming at our beautiful mess. Spring 2027. Agency reunion. Ghosts in suits. Marcus cornered me by the bar. Aged. Humbled. Heard about Harper. Sorry. And congrats on the book. I nodded. Civil. Water under. Riley. Arm looped mine. Whispered later. Proud of you. Letting go without grudge. Not grudge, growth. Summer peaked with pride. Floats thundering fifth. Rainbows riotous. Riley and I marched. Signs aloft. Love's legacy. Elena waved from sidelines. Claire filming for posterity. That night. Rooftop party. Our circle. Bass thumping. Rain threatened. But held. Riley pulled me to the ledge. City sprawling. Remember your prompt? That dramatic scene. I laughed, the image from my journal. Our first storm. Yeah. But this. He kissed me. Deep and sure. Our rewrite. Happier ending. Fireworks cracked. Literal. Illegal pops from Jersey. We danced in the downpour when it broke. Soaked and laughing. Bodies pressed close. Fall brought roots. Lease signed. Bushwick to penthouse. Justin's space reborn. Riley's art exploding walls. Memoir sequel pitched. Echoes unbroken. Weaving loss and love. One crisp November eve. Hike in the Palisades. Leaves crunching copper. At Overlook, Hudson glittering, he knelt proper. Ring simple. Silver like our cuffs. Marry me? Not despite the past, with it. Tears blurred. Yes. All in. Wedding small. June solstice. Claire's garden. Elena officiating with bawdy vows. Riley in linen. Me in Justin's old blazer. Tailored fresh. Toasts toasted redemption. Dance floor spun till stars wheeled. Honeymoon, Fire Island again. Cottage by dunes. Days swimming. Night stories. Riley's comics. My chapters. One dawn. Beach walk. He paused. Think Justin's smiling? I glanced skyward. Gulls wheeling. Beaming. He got his happy chaos. Back in city grind, freelance thriving. Riley's studio buzzing, we built. Adoption talks whispered. Future sketched loose. December. 2 years post-Justin. Holiday lights twinkled defiant. On the balcony. Champagne fizzing. Riley's head on my shoulder. To plot twists. To us. Life's script unfurled. Kisses in kitchens. Fights over laundry yielding to make-up sex. Quiet nights tracing tattoos. Loud ones at rallies. Fists raised for rights eroding under new admins. A scare. Riley's lump. Benign biopsy, echoed Justin. But fortified us. Checkups ritual. Love louder. By 2028. Graphic novel launched. Bestseller. Tour coast to coast. Readings swelled with faces like ours, scarred. Shining. One Q&A. Chicago theater packed. How'd you find hope after heartbreak? Riley squeezed my hand under podium. By choosing it. Daily. With the right co-author. Crowd applauded. We kissed. Unscripted. Homebound train. His sketchpad open. New panelist. Older. Graying. Justin's ghost high-fiving. Epilogue. I teased. Nah. Sequel bait. Laughter bubbled. Endless. In the end or middle, really love's not conquest. The surrender, sweet and savage. Justin taught endurance. Riley, joy. Together, they scripted me whole. And in New York's relentless pulse, breathless still, I breathed.